Welcome to Plaid Studio tonight. I am so thrilled to be here with you, and this is, what month are we living? March paint night right here at Plaid. I guess it's on a normal Thursday, first Thursday of the month, I guess. And today, I'm not guessing, I'm here, right? And the host and the moderator tonight for this painting lesson is Miss Chris Williams. And I am thrilled to have Chris because Chris can keep me straight, tell me what you're asking, and help me know what's going on. By the way, I'm Donna Dewberry, and I'm the original creator of the folk art one-stroke painting technique. And I just have a really peaceful painting tonight, and it's kind of watercolor and fun. And it's not watercolor, but it has that look. And so I'm so thrilled to be here. It's been a while. I haven't been to Plaid since last year, which wasn't long ago, right? And so tonight, I hope that you will take the opportunity to sit and paint with me. If not, make sure you have something to take notes with, or when you watch it again, I want you to think about what you learned that might be new to you tonight. That to me, I feel like even if you can't get things set up in time, I want you just to keep jotting down some notes that I didn't know that. That's a really good hint. That's real important to me that you learn something new each time I teach you. I wanted to talk a little bit about where you go and find, because we do have some new people out here that might not be an every month watcher here at Plaid. And one of the things is there's a couple of different ways Chris said that we could be on tonight. One's YouTube and one is Plaid Crafts?
Both dual streams.
Right.
One is Plaid Crafts YouTube channel.
Okay.
And the second one is Plaid Crafts Facebook page. And I have both open here so I can see comments with everyone. So if you have any questions, just chat them in and I'll do my best to try and answer them for you.
So, Chris knows more than you can imagine about every product. I'm picking her brain while I've been here this week, saying, tell me how to use this and tell me how to use that so I can go teach when I'm teaching my classes. What I like is that you were able to print out the pattern, and the pattern was right here, like we tried it before we got on. We went to Plaid Crafts and clicked on Peaceful Garden.
We went to plaidonline.com. In the search button, we searched the name of this project, right, which is Peaceful Garden, and then you'll click on the project, and there is your supply list and the free downloadable pattern.
So there are 4 pieces to this pattern, and you cut them out and you tape them together. So when that happened, then I was able to take some tracing paper, lay it on top of that pattern, and have it all ready. Then I took graphite, and I was able to take my fun little project here and put it right on to my 11 by 14 canvas. So can you see that right there? You don't have to put every single detail. It's just kind of nice to do the placement. So I did trace out every bit of detail, because after we stroke a lot of this on, you might want to put it back on there and maybe add more of the detail to the butterfly or the dragonfly. But we're going to start with the background. And the wonderful thing about using this paint this way and tracing your pattern on with the graphite paper is that you are able to see through even after we put our background over the pattern that I traced on. Okay? So are we able to go? Are you still answering people's questions?
I am, but you tell me, when are you ready to
I'm
go?
ready.
I'm going to send you overhead then.
Yeah, I'm ready. So this is what I want you to see. We are going to use folk art matte paint, and I haven't used matte paint for many, many years. So it was kind of nice to use. I used it today on a couple little projects, and so that's what we're using. And also, when you get that matte kit, the acrylic folk art matte acrylic set, you also got a set of the 10 brushes.
The set name is Let's Paint Live paint set.
Yes, so many of you already have that, and some of you might not, so I just want you to know these are the products I'm using right now. Okay, So now I have taken linen and wicker white, and I put a little bit of floating medium out. All right, so I'm going to dampen my 3/4 inch flat brush, lay it on the paper towel to take the excess water off, and then I want you to see this background here. There's all kinds of white showing in here, so I would call that like muddled. It looks muddled. So I'm picking up some medium, some linen, and some white. Okay, now I'm not blending it here, but when I come over here, I'm going left, right, left, right. See, I'm slapping it in a reverse direction here and there. So it's okay if some has a little bit more white and some has a little bit more linen. Can you see that? I'm not going to do the edges so I don't get it on the table here, but I like to do edges as I'm going, because what happens is you got that nice same color. This one's an easy one to touch up the sides afterwards, but sometimes it's a color that ombres, and so I like to do it as we go. All right, so I want you to, hopefully you can see through that. I think you can. There's some places, like the big ball of hydrangea here, that I don't have to worry about going on top of it, but it's better safe than sorry. So I don't want to try to put it on after I've painted. So just go back and forth on there, and we're going to do that to the whole piece. So I am excited to find out where you guys are from, and if you're new here, if you just happen to find this on Facebook, and Crystal asked me questions. She knows most of the answers, but if you guys want to ask me something, just tell Chris, okay? So can y'all see this? I want you to watch this again to make sure that you're seeing this movement, okay? So I picked up some medium. I'm picking up the linen, which would just be really heavy if I just did the linen. And then I'm grabbing the white. And I'm going left, left, crisscross, back and forth. And I'm touching this really lightly, like a feather. I really like the handles of this brush. It's a plastic brush and handle, and the paint wiped off of it really nicely, because I always cover my handles with paint from my fingers as I'm painting. Okay, so I just want you to see how that's looking. I want it to be splotchy. I don't want it just a smooth base coat. And that's part of that whole look I was trying to get, a little bit of a shabby chic, soft, muted. I've been really loving some watercolor looks, and so to me, when I was working with this, I felt like that gave me the same look. Okay, so 11 by 14, you can do 12 by 12s. There's all kinds of shapes you could do this. You can shrink it up, and whenever you shrink down a pattern that I might be painting, or whether you use a pattern or not, you just use a smaller flat brush.
Donna, a couple times you have said the word medium, but
floating medium.
You did not identify what it was. Can you please, we have a couple students on YouTube asking, what is the medium that she's talking about?
I said it at the very beginning, but I need to say it every time because you might not have heard me. We're using a floating medium, and it's made to go with our acrylic paint. So it's really nice, it's really important that when you're using a multi-surface or the folk art mat, that you use the right floating medium, which is a floating medium that works well with our paint. And I use that instead of water, because all my strokes I am using by double loading or multi-loading, and then using the floating medium to whenever I feel like I need it to be smoother. If it feels dry and you feel like, oh, I want to get water, I don't want you to go to water. I want you to just dip a little floating medium, and I'm going to be showing you that as we're stroking here. Now, we paint wet on wet. You don't have to let this dry for us to keep going, but I don't have this paint pen plugged in, so the heat pen, so I just won't use that. I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to pick up for the vines. See all the vines in here? So what I'm using is a couple of pretty colors here. We've got French blue. We also have some aqua and some medium gray. So I use this a lot in here, and then every once in a while I came in here and picked up ultramarine. This is brilliant ultramarine, all right, and which is a really pretty blue too. And I put a few pieces of that color, little bits of that, but I want you to see that we're gonna work this down into some white to get a muted effect, all right? So one of the ways that we get some of those colors is like what we're using here. We're going to use this linen and some medium gray to mute it down. Okay, now I like to tap this because when you tap it, you're spreading out the puddles, and what's happening with the puddles is that that gives you more space. People have asked me, how come you tap it like that? It's because when I'm picking up and I want to side load's going right next to the puddle. When I'm side loading, I want to have lots of areas with a clean puddle. Thank you, Miss Chris, did that one. Ah, you're wonderful. Okay. So I'm drying off a little bit because I have a lot up here. This is my favorite little tool now, especially when I'm working on glass.
That tool is called the multi-purpose heat pen.
A multi-purpose pen. I thought it was called a heat pen.
And I said multi-purpose heat pen.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Thank you. Okay, so let me put this over here a little bit. I want you to be able to see this as we're going here. All right, so I just dried it a little bit so it wouldn't be dripping wet. And then I'm going to pick up this color that I'm wanting to work with here. So we're going to pick up some linen and some white and double load. So I can dip the linen, work the white in, get some medium, work that in. Now, I want to work a little bit of this medium gray in, work that in. Now, see, you've got to keep working it in to mute that down, right? Okay, see that color? And I went ahead and added some French blue. I used to use French blue a lot. So I thought that was a really pretty color. Okay, now this brush is ready and the color's ready. Can you see that? But I want to go floating medium, flatten out the brush. This is a 3/4 inch brush still. All right, and so I'm going to come along here. I don't want to touch the wet, so I'm going to hold my arm up and I'm going to come right up here. Now we're on the chisel of the brush. I'm touching this back edge and lifting the front edge, okay? So I'm going to come right along here. All right, so it's a kind of a gray tone. I want you to see this. It's got blues, and you saw me, the French blue, the linen white, a little bit of gray, and I just kept working those tones in here, okay?
Donna,
So,
may I interrupt you for just a
yes.
moment?
Mhm.
Most of our friends are saying they can hear us loud and clear, and they should be able to because our volume here is at full blast.
Okay.
If you, by chance, are viewing tonight and you're having problems with your volume, there are 2 settings that each of you have. You have a setting on your device. That would be your phone, your tablet, your iPad, your laptop, your desktop, whatever your device is that you're watching from. But you also have a volume setting on the video itself. So whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, check both volume settings, and that will help you with being able to listen to Donna tonight. Sorry, Donna.
Thank you. Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Okay, so let's come over here. I just picked up a little bit more in this loading area. See this? A little bit more. And I'm going to come right in here. You could go in the middle of the hydrangea, or you can come right in here and skip it if you want to. But it kind of helps you follow along here. Now, we're going to come right down here. There's another piece there. So this is pretty easy. It should feel like butter, real smooth, like butter. Okay? Now, this is the first stems, and when I'm putting them in the beginning, I wanted to make sure that they were just really muted, like way in the distance. And then from this point, all right, and from this point, I came over and picked up a little bit of aqua. So when I picked up the aqua, I'm coming right back to the blue, linen, and white area. I don't have as much gray in this now. Okay, a little bit of blue. Okay, let's put a teeny bit of ultramarine, a brilliant, brilliant ultramarine. And see, I'm not using much of that, but every once in a while, a little bit of that just really adds. Now, this is what you're going to be doing over and over. Right here, pick up all these colors over and over. I'm working it in because I wanted that muted look. Okay? And I might even put a little bit more gray. Okay, so see, this is that really light French blue. Now look at that. That's giving you a little bit more. A little bit of the aqua. All right. And let's bring a little bit here. So you can still see the color in the back, and you can also see the colors that I'm adding here. Okay, so the very next thing you do, now we're going to do some of these long, slender leaves, okay? But I want these, the background ones, really super muted. So what am I gonna do here? I can even wipe off if I feel like I have too much. Touch the floating medium, work this in. Let's get some linen. Okay, I don't want it to look like heavy paint. So one of the things I want to show you is that if I stroke here and it looks like heavy paint, I'm going to wipe it, pick up a little bit of white, work it in, pick up floating medium. So look at this now. It's kind of transparent compared to this one, which was heavier paint. So I can still go back over that. All right, let's pick up a little bit more of the wicker white. Here's another one. Now I don't want them all that exact color. Like I can pick up more linen. This is the key, is the minute it starts looking like you put heavy paint on here, I want you to wipe off your brush, go get some floating medium, and go back into this loading area. See, there's almost no color here. See that? All right. So all of this background, real translucent looking color. Don't do every leaf, just do a few, because we want it to be a background color. You see the difference? This one's really muted. That one looked a little heavy, because that's how I started. All right. And we can size down to a smaller brush, like a 12, to do some of these little ones. But I'm still working on even a little gray, white, wicker white, medium gray, wicker white, linen, and floating medium. Okay, I got too much aqua. Let's come right here. Okay, let's go. We're going to pull stems right into those little leaves. Now right here, push, stand up, and slide. Pressure, lift, and go to the point of that leaf. And then you're going to pull this, the stem right in the middle. Does this look fun? And the great thing about doing this technique where I'm just making it like translucent is it doesn't show any imperfections. It's just a pretty muted background in there. All right. I wanted a little bit more linen on some of these, which means it's like a light tan color. And there's a couple right here. Okay, so now those are the ones that are very see-through. All right, I'm gonna wait and do the 12 later. I'm gonna keep going now and adding some more color. So this first layer, just like the first stems, was real transparent. All right, so now if you look here, I started putting some aqua and a little bit more French blue in here. So we're gonna come right there, maybe pick up, that aqua is just a different color than the blue. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put one in here and pressure, stand up and slide to the tip, pull the stem. Let's see, you can sometimes just put the stems in. This one's more transparent. We're going to use a smaller brush for that. So here we go, guys, right here. Now, just imagine this, any color you want. Like if you're not into blues, you're into lavenders. If you are like a soft purple tones or more pink tones, it can match any decor you have in your house. I'm trying to make sure I have, all right, let's pick up a little bit more blue. French blue, we're gonna come right here. And the other one I like that I decorated a lot with is earth tones. So all tones of browns. Okay, there you go. All right, and these are two. One, pull the stem. Two. It's got lots of floating medium in here. Okay, and it's important to pull the stems even if it was like the floating medium leaf because they actually still show. All right, let's see, I think I've got most of the leaves in. I'm gonna now size down to the 12. So let's clean this 3/4. Please let us know if this is kind of fun for you, if you've tried this before. And tell us where you're coming from, if you've been on before. Okay, let's come right here, and this is a 12 flat. And I'm gonna pick up more linen. I already have the floating medium in the brush. And let's see if we have any more little leaves right here. You can always add some later, but it's a nice structured background, a map of where we're going. And then we do pretty flowers in this garden. Okay, got a little one here. Okay, right over here. And I think I got them all. There's a glare, so I'm trying to see. All right, okay. All right, I let my insects go last because I want to go ahead and get all these paint colors in here first for the flowers. So let's come in here and let's pick up, there's a couple things that are going to happen I want you to see. We're going to pick up some colors to do these buds, and then we're going to come later and float the licorice with some gray at the bottoms. So at first, it's just going to look like the leaves we've been doing. Let's see how the licorice is in there later. So at the end, I'm putting licorice. I'm telling you this now because I want you to understand it's going to look like just a little blue oval bud there. But the beauty of it happens is when we come in here, here, and here with some of the licorice. But see, it kind of looks watercolor still on that licorice in there. So we're going to do these big hydrangeas and a couple of these buds. All right, so watch how these happen. These have a little bit of all those colors I've just been using. But when we start them, we're going to take, and I'm going to go ahead and use this 12 flat for this also. We're going to take them and we're going to pick up these colors we've been using. And we're just going to slap that area that where the whole blossom is. The whole big round blossom here. And I don't want a smooth edge. Do you see the edges? So floating medium, use all that color in there that we've been picking up. All in here. Number 12 flat. I like to kind of wrap that around the edge. All right, so I can put some blues in here, the French blue. The look of this is right here was the kind of aqua, so that aqua is showing a lot. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to do each one of them like each of the balls of flowers like that. But right now what we don't want to do is we don't want to paint them all and they would be dry by the time we got to them. So this is good that we just got this one first, and this is how we're going to do them. This still damp, so I'm going to come right over here and side load white. And we're doing wet on wet. So we're going to come right here and we're going to take and do little white strokes. Watch this. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to come in here with these little white half circles all the way around the edge of the blossom. All right, I'm going to leave it here for a minute for y'all to see. All right, so see, I'm just picking up white. Pick up white. And I'm going to every once in a while do a blossom, and I'm going to put this down and show you that in a minute. But all the way around the edges we do first. So every time I come over here, I'm just side loading white, wicker white. All right, then I'm going to come right here and do a half circle. But I'm going to show you a 5-petal flower here now. A blossom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so every once in a while I do a complete one, but usually if you look at this, it's just a lot of these petals. All right, so let's look at that again. It's supposed to not be exact. It's really loose here. See that? So you can see tans in here. And every one's going to be different. That's the beauty of it. I can put some linen on here, pick up some white. All right. Okay. Just keep picking up. And you don't have to get both colors. Remember it. At this point, my background's starting to dry, which is fine. I just keep picking up the white because we have a couple colors in the brush, so we're multi-loaded. There. All right. So it's kind of dreamy. That's what it should look like. See, you can see a little bit of the linen. Okay, so let's go up here with this guy. So I'm floating medium. And I'm going to go ahead and bring a couple of these colors here because I've used all that paint up, right? I'm not really using the medium gray right now. I'm picking up the floating medium, some tan, and some white. Okay. So So I'm going to wipe that off the brush and then just work this in so it's going to be transparent, okay? And this is going to be all in here. Here's the next small one. All the edges are not smooth. It's lumpy. so it'd be the petals out here. Okay, now this one I did more kind of like watercolor, where I just kept coming over here and getting some white. Just pat in here. Watch, I can pat, 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 pat around the edge. We have some viewers out there, Miss Chris?
We do have some. We have friends tuning in both on YouTube and Facebook.
Well, thank you, guys.
A lot of folks have said they love the peaceful colors. One individual even said it looked like wallpaper.
Oh, that's nice. Just imagine if you painted this and gave it to somebody for a birthday present or a newlywed. This is, I think, something that would be a great gift for that. Or Mother's Day's coming up. I think this would be a pretty greeting card too, don't you, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Just pieces
Somebody
of this.
earlier said the cover of a journal too.
Oh, yeah. We like to paint bags also, gift bags. So you could do your greeting card, save pieces of it for the greeting card, some for the bag that you're going to put your gift in, and you could even take and use our enamels and paint the same design on some glasses and put them in your bag. There we go. Or like you said, you paint that journal to match and give it as a gift. I've been encouraging on my Patreon for people that are painting with us to start an artist journal. And whenever you can just catch one of our lessons, like Chris and Andy here have them every week, when you see something that you think, oh, I don't want to forget that, I've been telling them to keep those notes and those messages and put them in that journal, and you go back and say, what did they tell me? Because Chris told me so many things today, I thought, dang, I should have written it down.
You even forgot a few, didn't you?
Yeah, I said, tell me about this and tell me about that. And I was like a little kid sitting there going, I want to know that. I want to know that. I say, wait a minute, say that again. But did I have my journal? No. So I'm going to have to go by memory.
Oh, we're in trouble now.
There you go. Except I have a hotline to Chris.
1-800.
Yeah. Okay. So isn't that kind of dreamy? Now, usually when I'm teaching and I'm talking about what people mostly ask me is, how do you know where to put a leaf, and how do you know how to design this and know where the flowers go? Usually I try to do a triangle, and there are 2 triangles here, but I've got a big gap here. But I did that on purpose because I wanted to put the dragonfly and the butterfly. And just like the fabrics I used to make, or the wallpaper. But what I want to share with you is that there were different vines I took up here, like 3, right? And then what happened is I'm alternating. This one was here, this one came up higher than this one, and this is not quite, it's a little higher. But they're different sizes also. So size matters when you're trying to lay out your design, and so is the positioning of them, okay? And up here, let's go ahead and finish this one. I'm good. I'm jumping. I gotta stay.
Focus. We were just named sisters.
Aw.
You and I.
Sisters from another mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's got a wonderful mama, Miss Chris does. that she still has her mom. That's such a
I'm
blessing.
very blessed. Uh-huh.
And she is so talented. She sews and creates the most beautiful needlework, handwork, stitching.
Thank you, Donna.
No, I love seeing all her beautiful quilts and sewing. Oh, tell them about the ties she's doing, the angels.
Oh, she just was gifted a whole bag full of men's ties that men are no longer using, and so she's making ornaments for me to sell for her, and they are little angels.
What size are they? I thought they were bigger.
Men's ties are bigger. She's using portions of the ties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, when I saw the picture, I imagined them bigger, but they're the size of ornaments. I didn't know that. They're really pretty.
So Donna, we have one viewer here on YouTube that says that she does keep a journal, just like you mentioned a moment ago, and she's actually on her second journal.
Good for you. You need to date those on the outside covers so you can just grab them.
And we have a question from Michelle on Facebook, and she says, if you don't have floating medium, can you use water?
Okay, so let me explain what floating medium is, and this will kind of help you. Of course, you can always use water, but it will make it more muddy. And the difference in floating medium is that this is the fluff. If you look at this, this is the fluff that's inside your paint with no pigment in it. See this? Now I wanted something that dries the same speed as our acrylic does, and that's what this floating medium does. If you use water, it dries quick. It doesn't stay flowing like I told you. I like it to feel like butter, because then you get a nice, beautiful, smooth stroke. And if you're a new painting, if you're a seasoned painter, honey, then you probably could use water. But as we're teaching a lot of people, they are just learning how to paint, and some that have just gotten used to using the floating medium. So that's what I'm sharing with you. But I'm not saying you can't, but I tell all my painters to go buy an 8-ounce bottle and enjoy that floating medium. So I hope that answered it for you. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with a little bit of gray and French blue, and I'm going to make these buds right here. Okay, so see, that's real dry. Pick up medium and go back and pick that paint up again, and then it just goes real smooth. It's kind of like when you ice in a cake and you can just lay it on there. All right, and this was a bud, not a leaf. I made it a leaf. Okay. Now watch what I'm doing. I've got this brush that was loaded for the buds. I'm going to grab that and pull it in. Okay, now remember, I'm going to go shade with licorice later. Okay, now right here is a cute little orchid, like, it looks like an orchid, but it's a little flower that's going to come up right here. We almost have got all of our flowers in here. Now let me show you on this. On this side, I'm on the chisel and I push. And on this side, I'm on the chisel, pressure, and kind of bring it up. So you're just filling in that pattern, okay? All right, so I've got a little bit of that French blue, and then I picked up a little bit of aqua. Doesn't that make it kind of pretty there? Pressure, lift, and stand up. Pressure, lift, and stand up. All right, so this has a stem for here too. All right, so I've gotten all that in. And so what I'd like to tell you to do is this is forever right here on YouTube, right?
Correct. It is in the Plaid Crafts channel of YouTube.
So
and I've answered that question several times on both platforms.
Because
here.
what I want you to know that I tell people all the time, if I went really fast, because I was quick with the hydrangeas, I've been trying to correct how I say that this week. I just want you to know that if you look up and you go, oh, she's got them all done, stop your video when you watch it. Stop it. Get all your hydrangeas in here, and then come back and do the buds and the little iris-looking flower there. And do that all through the video. And so there should be no stress. Don't stress about it. Just slow down and take your time to do it. And my technique is multi-loading a brush. We do double load and multi-load. And you've seen a lot of multi-load. And anybody who's done one stroke with me before, we usually dip 2 colors, work it in, and stroke. I wanted this yummy, like I said, it's not watercolor, but I like the feel of that color, that thin, light color. This one more blossom here, to me that stood out more, like it didn't match everything else, but it was like the butterfly really grabbed it and was ready to come down on us. So I thought I would take medium, floating medium, and a little bit of aqua. I got a touch of brilliant ultramarine, and I want you to see that I am pushing down and I'm standing up. Okay, that is a solid acrylic stroke, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to come here and work in medium, floating medium again, and go back over it and back over it till I get that to look thin. But I still can have that ultramarine color there. Can come here, and I'm going to come back and add a little bit of medium gray later. And I'm going to chisel, pressure, and stand up. Okay? So see how that's a little bit more brilliant? So what I did right here is I did come back and say I want to brighten that up a little bit, just so it looks like it flows right into that. Okay, so now let's go color in, because we're going to do all that licorice shading later. Let's go in here and let's color in our dragonfly. So let's look at these two. See the dragonfly? See the aqua? All the licorice happens later. You can see there's aqua, French blue, and some white, and it does look a little bit more acrylic painted. This is a little transparent on the butterfly. Back wing, front wing, okay? So I'm going to floating medium, marine, this is aqua, and then a little bit of French blue. Okay, so here we are. We're going to come way out here. Okay, now this one goes out and it's dry, so I'm picking up the medium. Okay, come over here, the same thing. So try to stay right within there, and I've got a little trick to show you here. Oh, I need medium, floating medium again because it's dry. Okay, I've got a little trick I like to share. I got larger on this one. All right, so see when I just got carried away? I don't want you to get in a paper towel and try to wipe it off. I want you to come right here, and I want you to take water on a clean brush, wipe it on the paper towel, take some of that off, wipe it on the paper towel, and also take a little bit out of there because it got a little heavy. Now see, I corrected it just that easy without a paper towel. All right, so then I'm going to take some wicker white, and I'm going to come along here and put a glare of that white on the bottom here, a little bit more right here. See, I keep picking up the white, and we're going to come right here and right there, okay? So I hope you're having a good time with our lesson today.
I think the majority of everyone is sitting back, relaxing, watching you paint and the magic flowing from your paintbrushes this evening. And many people like this project, but I think they want to wait and, you know, paint it on their own in their own time. And like you suggested earlier, by simply watching and then painting a little bit, then stopping the video, rewinding it, watching it again, that sort of thing.
That's good.
Sometimes it's kind of hard to start painting this late at night for some folks if they've worked all day long, or perhaps they've been up since the crack of dawn.
That's when I say when they're up on YouTube and it's really early in the morning. When I launch mine, they, I imagine them sitting there having a cup of coffee or something and just watching and thinking, maybe after work today or something, I'll come home and try that. Let's see, right here. Well, Chris and I both, Chris actually works here at Plaid. She's been privileged to be here. How many years, Miss Chris?
Oh gosh, 23, 24, something like that.
Yeah, and
I've lost track. I don't have my calendar in front of me,
so
sorry.
What's wonderful about, one of the most wonderful things about Plaid is that we have some of the best product, the best designers, I mean, Plaid goes all out with their education program. We were the top, the head of everybody in the industry to getting these lessons and Let's Paint program, and just because Plaid was willing to invest into that during COVID, during those hard times, and it's all free content for you. I mean, you can't beat this, to have a high quality video and a place to go watch it anytime you want. There you go. And what's your official title?
Director of Education.
Yeah. And she's been directing education for many years in all the retail stores. She took all of our one-stroke teachers and helped them be placed in all these stores around the country many times over. There you go. Okay, so see, we're ready for fine detail. All right. So one of the things is I'm going to take a little small brush here. Probably, these are a little different than I'm used to, so I think it's like the 6. All right, so we're going to pick up this 6, and I'm going to, I'm going to pick up medium gray. It's fun using this matte paint. It's just a little bit different for me, but I've been having a good time today adjusting to how it feels.
Donna is using the formula that is the Folk Art matte formula of acrylics. It's the very first line of folk art paints that came to the market. They're very heavily bodied, full, rich, and creamy in consistency, and that was the first paint that we came out long before our folk art multi-surface. And if you're familiar with Donna and you've watched her paint before, I think the majority of her painting now these days is done with the folk art multi-surface formula of paints. But she's working with paints tonight that are from a specific paint kit available on plaidonline.com, and this is the paint kit that is used for every Paint Night Live lesson, which is the first Thursday of every month. And if you are watching tonight, hang around to the end, because Donna is going to share with you the lesson for next month.
It's very pretty. And Emily's teaching that, isn't she? Or Jessie?
Emma.
Emma. I call her Emily.
Yeah,
Emma. Emma.
The other E word.
No, I'm not kidding you. There must be 15 Ks, names that start with a K here. K or C, and I don't even keep my 7 children's names straight, so, or grandbabies. Okay, so I don't know if you saw that I outlined that kind of with that medium gray, and I used the 6 flat, and I used the chisel of that brush. The chisel, for you guys who don't know, is the tip, the bristle tips. All right, so now let's look at this. I'm going to come in here now and add some gray by using floating medium right here. I still have some floating medium. And then side load the medium gray. Let me get more. Because now we're just putting a few little tips on here. Medium, come right here. Okay. And we had a lot of detail on this one, guys. So, taking a little bit longer. So I'm just using gray, and then at the end, the medium gray, and at the end I came in here and added a teeny bit of licorice with the gray, because just taking your licorice there right away can kind of, if you're not really precise and careful, it can kind of take away the beauty of what we were trying to do here. So see, we're going to come right here on the chisel, pull those little lines in there, a little bit in here. Now I didn't put out licorice, so let me put out a little bit of licorice. Whoops, I needed to shake that. All right, so right here, let's pick a teeny, 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 guys. Don't get carried away with it. Okay, so look, just get the tip up here. A little bit on this tip. Y'all see that? I'm just tapping it. All right, and then I'm coming right in here. If you look at that, you can see the gray and the black, which is licorice. And we put one here and one here. All right, and then we're going to come right here, a little bit more licorice, and right in here, right by the body. And you can follow and add any detail you want, or get heavier if you want. And I took a little bit down here, and I would go around, and if you find little places that you think, oh, that would look good right there too, make it yours. I love it when you make your own colors, your own look, and make it yours. But see, I did that triangle of color again with that licorice. I'm gonna come in here with maybe a 6 or an 8. I'm gonna pick up white, and I'm gonna put a little dot there, here, on the chisel. We're going to come right here and put a little detail on this butterfly. All right, and just with the corner of this brush, I can touch the head and the body a little bit. And I already put the white on here. You guys saw me do that, so I can put a little white down the head. All right, last little detail is the antenna. And I just kind of did the medium gray with licorice. I'm using the 2 liner, the long liner. Okay, now watch what's going to happen here. I'm going to touch here, touch with the tip and pull it back, touch with the tip and pull it back, and there you go. So I hope you like that. I'm going to show you Emma's piece here, and you sign your pieces. It's nice to put a date even on here, and I can't wait to see you guys again. Please let us know or see your pictures. Please share them on Let's Paint with Plaid.
Before you do that, Donna, let's go back with your piece in view, because I want to answer some questions verbally for everyone. I've answered them several times on both platforms, but people were asking about the paints that you were using tonight. Donna was using the Folk Art Matte Acrylics. If you could get a new label and show a new label. These paints that Donna chose tonight are part of a Let's Paint Live kit. In that kit, you receive several different colors of the matte acrylics and a 10-piece brush set. And that kit is designed for every single first Thursday of the month Let's Paint Live lesson. So you just need one kit, and you already have all the colors that you need and the brushes that you need for every Thursday night. That, again, is the first Thursday of every month. And so that's the paint that she was using. There was a question that came in, and what was the difference between the matte acrylics and the multi-surface acrylics? There is a big difference between the two formulas. Both are very rich and creamy in consistency. However, the original formula, which we now call Folk Art Matte, does dry to a matte finish. There's no gloss, there's no sheen to it. The multi-surface paints do dry to a satin finish. There's a sealer built in the multi-surface paints, so you don't necessarily have to put a finish or a varnish over your project because it is self-sealing. The matte acrylics does not have a sealer on or in the formula, so you will want to, when you're done painting the project as Donna taught you tonight, you will want to put a spray sealer. A couple light coats of something like Patricia Nemec's clear acrylic sealer will definitely finish your project off, and you can choose the desired sheen that you want. Another thing is the multi-surface paints can be used on a variety of surfaces, more so than the matte acrylics, and they go on wood, on tin, on terracotta, on paper mache, on greeting cards, on canvas like Donna did tonight, on fabric, on glass, on glazed ceramics. Now you can use the matte acrylics on a lot of those types of surfaces, but on fabric, on glass, glazed ceramics, and sometimes even on metal, you really need to use mediums that are developed for fabric paints or for glass paints. So there's a big difference with the multi-surface. You don't have to add any extra mediums for it to be cohesive with the variety of surfaces. The pattern for tonight, so many of you asked and asked and asked. It was all part of the invitation, and there was a link there. Maybe you didn't see the blue text. It's a hyperlink, and if you click on that, it takes you directly to plaidonline.com, where you could then, in the search bar, type in Peaceful Garden, which is the name of Donna's project tonight. And when you do that, it'll take you directly to the page that gives you an ample supply list and the pattern that Donna is sharing with you tonight. Also, if you happen to be a viewer on YouTube, if you clicked on the description that you'll see just underneath the video box, and you click on the word more in that description, it opens up a big paragraph, and there is your hyperlink to take you to the supply list and to the free downloadable pattern.
We did it right before we went on, so we knew y'all could find it.
Right. Another question came up about the brushes that you were using, and were they new brushes? I think they're new brushes to Donna, but they are Folk Art 10-piece brush set. In both cases, on YouTube and on Facebook, I put the link to those brushes. They're available on Plaid's website. We have a great sale going on right now too, so go ahead and check that out. And I think that's about the bulk of the questions that came in this evening.
Okay.
But Donna, thank you so much. Oops.
Oh.
Donna, thank you so much for sharing your painting with us tonight. I know everyone is going to enjoy watching. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. People were also asking, was it being recorded? And yes, our lesson tonight was recorded, and after we end it, you will find it on Plaid Crafts' YouTube channel. So you can watch it at your leisure. You can stop, rewind, watch a little bit more, pause the video, have fun with it. It can really be an enjoyable painting for you. I think that's about it. And what Donna just put on the table in front of her there is the Paint Night Live class that is going to be the first Thursday of next month. So that would be April. And that would be April the 4th. And Emma Panuski here, one of our content creators at Plaid, will be teaching this, and this is entitled Peachy Peacock.
With lots of pretty metallic treasure gold and all in here.
All right, well, Donna, I'm going to go face on, unless I'll give you a moment if you want to say anything to our viewers this evening before we say goodnight to everyone.
Well, thank you guys for being on, and I hope you enjoy what I shared tonight. Please check out the one-stroke painting that's on Plaid's Craft, plaidonline.com. I always get this messed up. Plaid Crafts is YouTube.
Plaid Crafts is the name of both our Facebook group and also the YouTube channel, Plaid Crafts.
All right, so If you go to plaidonline.com and you can look under One Stroke and see the multitude of kits and wonderful brushes and tools that I have in the One Stroke program. And I would love to have you check some of those out and paint some flowers with me. We have all kinds of wonderful kits that Chris recently previewed to everybody, sharing with you what's in each kit. And Chris has worked with me for many years, but for the last 5 years, I think, we've been creating kits for this Let's Paint program when Plaid started doing all this education for you guys. So thank you for being on. Every week you can get wonderful lessons right on the Plaid Craft website, Let's Paint website, and on YouTube. So come check us out.
And I invite every single one that has been viewing this evening to join our Facebook group. It's a warm, loving, caring, sharing community for learning how to paint, and that is Let's Paint with Plaid.
Thank you. One Stroke. So I'd like you to also hashtag challenge. What's the challenge?
Let's Paint Challenge.
Let's Paint Challenge. You can tell I haven't been here for a long time.